all of a sudden you go from human to being this part of this magnificent world. And we tend to think of creator as this energy or this entity outside of this world, but actually the world is the creator and the creator is the world. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Soulful Intuitive. I want to wish you a happy spring, since this is our first episode that we're airing after the transfer of winter to spring, and I would like to ask you to share, like, and subscribe after watching this video. Now we're going to get to today's topic. So as part of a follow-up on our spring cleaning for the soul that we did a few weeks ago, we embarked upon a journey on Sunday, a day before the spring started, with a friend of ours who's also a shaman, and we did our first psilocybin ceremony. And for those of you who don't know what psilocybin is also called magic mushrooms, and it's a psychoactive medicine, and it is now being used also with help of therapists, and it is known to help with PTSD and other similar traumas, and we just wanted to do it as a way to get rid of some of our trauma and to also go and have a journey inwards. And having experience with ayahuasca before, we did 3 ceremonies altogether in the past few years. This was going to be a fun experience because I did not know that psilocybin and ayahuasca would take me to the same place. I thought that this would just enhance your vision. I have heard about a lot of my friends and clients who have done psilocybin before. It's also used on a daily as a form of microdosing, which you take a tiny bit every day. You can also buy them online or in stores in a form of pills. And basically what it does is that it just takes the edge off, and for people who have a lot of anxiety, it helps with their anxiety. It also helps with people not falling back into their patterns of behavior. Let's say if you're compulsive, or if you have any established patterns that are no longer suiting you and you wanted to break them, this is also a good way to start on that journey. I was given the pills by one of my colleagues in the past, and just to experience them, because I was suffering from not sleeping and being very anxious, and this wonderful person invited me to give them a try. Then I had a Reiki experience, which I talked about in one of the videos, and the Reiki master who was treating me also told me that the mushroom kingdom is available to you and is going to help you. So I already had that at the back of my mind, and with all of these medicines, the medicine invites you, not the other way around. And one of my very good friends has been experimenting with psilocybin, and she's had very good results. So we booked a date weeks in advance, and we were supposed to have this ceremony a few weeks back, but we caught a cold, so we postponed it, and it just so happened that it was scheduled on the last day of winter, which couldn't have been better. We got up, we met up with this person, this amazing lady, at noon, and she had chopped them up and put it in a lime juice, or I think lemon juice, because she had done her research, and when you mix it with lemon juice, takes the nausea away. So we had gathered around, and it was just the three of us, me, my partner, and her. And we waited. And after 20, maybe 30 minutes, you start to feel a little lighter. And then the journey started. But before even consuming the potion that she had prepared, we all had our intention, and my intention was healing. And she also asked me in particular, is there anyone in particular you want to meet on your journey? And I said, yes, I would like to have a meet with God or the Creator. And I have to tell you that this was not my first time. Ever since I was very young, I was very interested in the universe and who made it. And I was also very attracted to spiritual topics and religions and the beginning of them and how it came to different people in different culture. I just always wanted to know how this all came to existence. And so it happened, and as it was going forward, I started to feel the same feelings that I had when I did the ayahuasca ceremony. You start seeing geometrics. The only difference is with ayahuasca ceremonies, they always do it at night, so they don't perform it before sunset. But we were doing our mushroom ceremony in the middle of day at noon, and it was, like overcast, but not very gray or rainy day. And I started to feel uneasy and had the urge to get up and walk because it works your energy. And I knew that ayahuasca was a purging substance. It makes you purge in the form of vomiting, diarrhea, crying, laughter, movement, yawning, and such. And I did not know that psilocybin does the same thing, so I started to yawn, and these are not gentle yawns. These are yawns like from ear to ear, your jaw wants to open, and then I started to sweat and feel cold. So chills and sweats because you're releasing. And in this particular journey, I also had this urge to walk or move. I just could not sit still. With ayahuasca, everyone's laying down, and I just didn't have that experience, although I had some involuntary movement when I was doing ayahuasca on one of the ceremonies. And like I said, it really depends on your intention, and my intention was healing. And healing doesn't happen until you release. And I know that I have a lot of juju, like all of us, built up inside of me, because as when you're young and even in your adulthood, there are so many incidents where you're going through something where you're not feeling your feelings and you're not expressing the emotions. And what you do is, in order to survive that whatever is happening at a time, you press your emotions down, and it causes all kinds of issues. For me, is majority of my issues are base chakra related. So I started to close my eyes and then open it, because I also have this fear of losing touch with reality, which on psychoactive medicine can happen at times. With ayahuasca, definitely you just leave your body, not in a form of death, but you're no longer in this reality. And you go deep, deep inside. And the way that I was explaining it to a friend of mine was, your inner journey starts with a jump into this black hole inside of us, and it can take you for eternity. And it could take you wherever you want it to take you. If you want to be philosophical, it'll just plug you in that world, and you become all-knowing. All of a sudden you go from human to being this part of this magnificent world. And we tend to think of creator as this energy or this entity outside of this world, but actually the world is the creator and the creator is the world. And it's just, unfortunately, as human beings, our eyes and our mind and our understandings are very limited, and these psychoactive medicines have been used for centuries in order to go deep and to have understanding. And the sort of understanding you get on these medicines are not most of the time describable with words, because words only cheapen them. And for a lot of those experiences, there aren't the right words in order to say it. And as I was walking around in the living room, the shaman was asking me, like, put words to your journey, and I had a hard time putting words to the journey because it was so deep and it was very intense, and I shared it only with a few people. And when you become all-knowing and you become all connected, then at the same time you have this vision of you as this mortal, as this human, and what matters to you or what bothers you, and all your problems all of a sudden become completely ridiculous. And I was able to see myself and also see the whole, and just make the back and forth in order to make sure that I'm still in this reality. And I went for a walk a few times because I felt like if I walk, I would feel better. That feeling of restlessness and uneasiness, and what I noticed this time a lot was my throat chakra was clearing, and I just felt like there was like a mothball stuck in my throat, and I constantly had to just try to clear my throat, and this phlegm-like substance would just come up, and I just knew that because I didn't have that issue prior to the ceremony. But that particular cleaning or cleansing happened to me when I did my second ayahuasca ceremony, where I just couldn't stop clearing my throat, and something like a phlegm was coming up, and at the same time I was just reminding myself that this is rebirth, this is clearing, this is the death of the old and in with the new. And if I want to tell you that these ceremonies are fun, then I would be lying. They're very intense. They are journeys in there is a book that I read, which I will find the name because I can't forget it or remember it right now, that they found these substances in these old vases during the archaeological digging, and so people would travel for like 6 or 7 months in order to go on these pilgrimages, and they would get together and have wine with a little bit of psychoactive material in it in order to just go on the journey, and they called it death before death. And it is death before death. My experiences that I've had with psychoactive medicine have always brought me face to face with death, and not just my own death, but just the end of everything. And it is intimidating. It is almost difficult to watch, but I know that these journeys have a purpose, and it reminds us about the cyclical nature of our universe and how every death is followed up by a rebirth, and how important it is to know, even when we're going through tough times, that this cycle, this BS, this problem will also come to an end, and then something else will rebirth after that. But also it allows you to have a glimpse of what's happening when your real time of death in this lifetime come along. And as difficult as it is to voluntarily go on these journeys, you know that this is for now is your reality. But when the time comes, I think we should all be ready. And I think that we should do as much spring cleaning for the soul as we can, so our souls can be so light so they can just fly as far away as they can. And when we are going down that black hole of our soul, then we can find another galaxy of life and another galaxy of a different nature of realm on the other side and not get lost. I was wanting to maybe cry, but I just did not feel sadness. Most of the feelings that I had was just facing with the majesty of this world and the burden that it is to be the creator, to have all the possibilities of manifestation within your existence, because the creator shows me every time that the creator is manifested and unmanifested all at the same time, which is very difficult to wrap your brain around. But when I was a lot younger, I remember that maybe my mother told me that don't think about these things too much, because a lot of people or philosophers have lost their mind going deep, and it is definitely it can drive you to insanity if you don't have the right tools, and you also have to give yourself breaks. But I have always been curious about the reality of everything, especially the reality of our world and our universe. And when the ceremony was over, I was very happy because I knew that I had done a tremendous amount of work, the inner work, and I was so exhausted. It takes so much of your physical strength. I had no energy to move. I just wanted to lay there, but I was so grateful that I was back in this realm, and I was so grateful to be eating and to be talking and to be laughing and to experience these simple pleasures that we have been gifted with, because we do take it for granted. Just the simple pleasure of putting a piece of bread in your mouth, or having a bite of apple, or just talking to your friends and family whom you love, and just have normal human interaction, whether it's physical or verbal. And I was just filled with this tremendous gratitude, which is a gift at the end of those tunnels, because you always come back with a different way of looking at the world. And I remember I was driving to work on Tuesday, and I no longer was thinking about I'm going to work. I was looking forward to the fact that I'm going to go and talk to some people and create some art and just be myself and enjoy this life that has been gifted to us. It's an opportunity to be alive. It's an opportunity to be on this planet and this universe, to experience our karma and to get rid of what's no longer needed, either from this lifetime or for many lifetimes before. And I was just telling myself that it was very difficult, because it was, yet it was so needed. And I'm so glad that I started this spring this year with a lighter baggage, and maybe with a few different ways of looking at the world. And I'm very excited that today I was able to share this with you. So to just wrap up, this episode was about psilocybin, which is also called magic mushrooms, which is a psychoactive medicine. And if you're interested in it, there's so much literature online, and also there's on YouTube, there's so many people who talk about it, and also doctors, and you can use it in small doses, which is called microdosing, but you can also use heavier doses. Apparently there's this 5-gram dose that's called heroic dose, but what we did was only 2 grams, which was plenty. And it really helps you to go within and deal with your issues. And if you have any fears, face your fears. And if you have any trauma that you normally can't access, it will direct you there. And with all of my medicinal work that I've done, which is only 4, I definitely haven't done that many. The intention is the word. Whatever you intend to do, wherever you intend to go, the medicine will lead you there. It's hard work, but you'll be very glad that you did it at the end of the tunnel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon.